Hey guys, so it is 11:12 p.m. on a Sunday night, and I couldn't sleep, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys about life and friendship and struggles with that, because it was like in my head, and I was like, okay, I need to film a video for it. And if you hear any noise in the background, people are really loud in my dorm. And, well, not my dorm, but like the residence hall. Well. Okay. So, I've been wanting to talk about friendships in college, especially as someone who's always been kind of like a loner. I guess, like a floater friend, I guess. Like, I have friends, but I don't really belong to like a specific group. Coming into college, I had this vision in my head that things would have just clicked. Like, I'd find my people immediately. Like, the group that goes everywhere together, does everything together, blah, 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 blah. But that did not happen. Not yet, at least. I know people, I hang out sometimes, but I still find myself alone a lot. And sometimes that feels really peaceful, but other times it's just lonely. You know, like, I don't know. Everyone has their group, but I don't. Yeah. I think being a floater makes you good at adapting, but it also makes you feel invisible sometimes. Like you're always in the background of someone else's story, if that even makes any sense. But then again, I have had this like experience ever since I was, well, honestly, ever since I moved to the US, which was like 6 years ago. It's been difficult trying to maneuver like American friendships because back home we have different types of friendships. Like, for example, in the US, like, I have never fit in with American kids, even though, yeah, I am an American citizen, but I grew up elsewhere. So I've never really fit in with the American children. Like the people who are raised here, engrossed in American culture, whatever that may be. I have always had different values. I've always been more mature. I've always been better at speaking, better at adapting. And so I've always just been alone because I felt like friends have never been like my thing, even though I've craved it my entire life, or the entire time that I've been in the US. I've just never gotten along with all of like American children. And that definitely has to do with my upbringing. And I grew up around many old people, or well, older people. So I have those values. And I'm very mature. Well, I've always been told that I'm an old soul for obvious reasons. I've just never fit in with American children. Okay. Mentally, it's tough because loneliness isn't just about being physically alone. It's like an isolation in your brain from not being chosen, even when you're surrounded by people. And that's something I've been working through a lot lately, trying to not let it define me or my worth, because I love being on my own. Like, I can do everything on my own. Like, I go for dinner by myself, in restaurants by myself, I go to movies by myself. That's just how I am. I love solitude. But it gets lonely sometimes, especially when you don't have someone to choose you. You know. There are days where I definitely spiral and I start thinking something's wrong with me. but I know in the back of my mind that nothing's wrong. I've been realizing sometimes being alone doesn't mean that you're broken. Like, being alone all the time doesn't mean that you're broken. It just means that you value peace or depth or your own space. Like, I just value myself now, and I cannot tolerate people who, okay, let me rephrase that. I value certain things and I have very high expectations, and if people don't meet those expectations, then I do not want to be around you. And that's something that I've always been, I guess, implementing ever since I was like a child growing up in Trinidad. And I think that's because I've been around so many older people that I'm just like, I set my expectations this way and I cannot settle for anything less than what I deserve, or than what I expect. I'm slowly learning that college friendship isn't always what you see online, especially in movies and like YouTube, stuff like that. Except this video is kind of real, let's be honest. Not everyone has a big group. Some people find their people in college, like in their second or third year. So this is my first semester of my first year of college. So I'm not saying that I'm gonna be alone forever or complaining about being alone forever, but it's just something that I've dealt with my entire life, and I just had to bring it to you guys because laying in bed is when I realize, like, my mind just spirals out of control, and I'm just like thinking and why not just tell you guys too? Well, anyways, if you guys have been feeling the same way, I just want you to know that you're definitely not alone. You don't have to force yourself into spaces that don't feel right. You're still worthy of love even when you're alone. So be alone, because you will find your group eventually. Okay, you're always loved. Bye guys, good night or good day. Yeah, bye.